Hey all, here at OS Reviews. About 2 years ago, we checked out the Pamu Slides, which I thought were a very uniquely designed pair of wireless TWS buds. They had this fabric texture to them, and like the name implies, they slide open to reveal the buds. Along with offering Qi wireless charging, Handmade have released their second generation model, the Pamu Slide 2s. This time around, the design remains pretty unique with that sliding form factor. It is a lot more compact though, and as a result, the battery life has technically slightly decreased. The buds themselves can last up to 6.5 hours on a full charge. The case combined will get you around 26 hours when on the road. With that being said, the second generation model now pack in active noise cancellation that claim to block up to 42 decibels of noise, which is a feature missing on the originals, along with having a little larger 10mm titanium drivers. So in the box we have, of course, the slides themselves. These are the black edition, and it does have the standard array of silicone tips to get a more snug and comfortable fit, along with a USB Type-C charging cable, but once again, these do support Qi wireless charging if you want to pop it onto a mat to top it up, along with a soft carrying pouch just like the originals to protect it when on the go, and also a quick user guide. So taking a closer look at the design, I have to say they're still very distinctive looking. This circular dot on the front has kind of a vinyl-like texture, and there's a large oversized LED strip that will tell you the battery percentage as a bar, which is also pretty cool. We'll see that in action later on in this video. The top has just the Type-C port if you don't want to use, again, Qi wireless charging, which, by the way, is embedded onto the back here. Now, the mechanism here for the slider is spring-assisted and opens with a satisfying click, and you can kind of make out the mechanism there for the slider. And here's a quick size comparison with some of the other wireless buds, including, say, the Apple AirPods. They are going to be a little bit larger and thicker, but not too bad. You can still put it into a pocket without too many issues here. And it is a little more compact than the Pamu Quiets, which were their first active noise canceling buds that came out about a year ago. Demo of the Qi wireless charging in motion. If we just pop it onto the top here, you can see the charging instantly start, and that really large LED bar there start to indicate that it's charging itself up. It also lights up to tell you the battery percentage when you pop the buds back into the case. Although one thing I do wish is maybe they can add a button to more easily trigger and see exactly what the battery is like without removing the buds. The buds themselves are pretty compact and also have the continuation of the vinyl-like texture on the surface. They offer touch controls, which are able to do pretty much everything, including volume. All you have to do is actually tap for 1 second and then swipe down to change the volume higher or lower on the left and the right sides. It's actually a pretty clever gesture and works surprisingly well in my testing so far. These do also have ambient light sensors or IR sensors on the side, so they can know if you're wearing the buds or not. So when you pop them out of your ears, the music will automatically pause. It doesn't feel too strenuous even after wearing them for the full 6 hours. A little bit of a shorter stem than some of their ones like the Quiets, which had more of that Apple AirPod inspired shape. So before jumping into the audio quality, let's take a quick look at their companion app. This app we have seen in some of their more recent buds, and it also supports, again, these Slide 2s. Once you basically have them connected, you'll be able to see the battery percentage left on the left and right sides and switch between the different ANC effects manually, such as the audio transparency mode, the ANC mode, as well as the wind noise reduction mode. But you aren't necessarily able to change the intensity of the ANC via a slider, for instance. So that is still one feature that's missing. What you will find, though, is the ability to customize the EQ. The selection is not the widest in the world, but out of pop, normal, and vocal, they do make a difference when you are listening to music. And there is a low latency gaming mode, which is great to find. Sure, it's not going to be instantaneous like on wired headphones at the end of the day, but this is really good enough. It's not going to become distracting. Watching back videos, the audio and the video still remain in sync, which is good. There's also a vocal enhancement mode, which if you turn on, it just makes it a little bit easier to hear speech. So if you're listening to podcasts and audiobooks and other personal settings, including changing what double clicking, pressing, and holding will trigger, can all be tweaked to your liking. So really, aside from being able to change the EQ by doing a hearing test or changing the intensity of the ANC, it is very fully featured. Moving into audio quality and performance, the good news for the most part continues, which is not too surprising because audio quality has been an area that Pamu's buds have always been pretty solid in the past, including the original slides. On here, the sound is mostly retained, again with a pretty large 10mm titanium driver, which do in fact pack a pretty satisfying punch in terms of bass. So lower end frequencies, including drum beats come alive, they sound full of energy, but at the same time it's not overpowering the mids and the trebles. Vocals in particular still felt like they had plenty of detail in terms of singers' voices, and overall I do think it's a little bit more crisp and packing in just slightly more textures and details than on the original. They do still sound, again, very clean. I don't hear too much distortion in the background. Pretty much any song, any genre that you're listening to just sounds excellent on these. But again, if you're trying to, let's say, get the highest technical resolution, maybe still a slight step away from some of these Sonys and Bose, which have LDAC or closer to lossless audio codec support there. These are still the standard SBC and AAC, but again, in terms of sound, I still felt that they were plenty rich. Active noise cancellation is also slightly above average, although I wouldn't say they're industry leading. They definitely do work quite well with lower frequency sounds like fans, computer noises, and engines. It gets largely repressed. You don't have to crank up the volume as high. Last but not least, when it comes to call quality, they're also a slight touch better than the originals, although with more of a dot-shaped design, the microphones will always be a little bit further away from your mouth. So under really challenging environments, they still won't be necessarily the best, but still in normal indoor conditions, they sounded clean and without really any issues in terms of picking up your voice. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Pamu Slide 2s. Just like the originals, design is really, I think, the main selling point here. Sound quality is punchy, vibrant, and just a joy to listen to, and they are super comfortable to wear. So if you're looking for a stylish pair of ANC buds, I do think that these tick a lot of those boxes. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Pamu Slide 2.